I've always taken pride in managing my own money. I balanced every checkbook down to the penny, paid my bills on time, and even helped a few friends figure out their Medicare plans. But not long ago, I found myself staring at an online banking screen I didn't recognize, and for the first time in a while I thought, maybe I could use a little help. You're not alone. As we get older, the world of money starts to shift. It's not just about dollars and cents anymore, it's passwords, pop-up scams, bank apps, and paperwork that seems to multiply overnight. And even if we've been handling our own finances for decades, there comes a point where asking for help starts to make a whole lot of sense. And if you've ever had that same thought, just know. And this is a big, but how do you get that help without giving up control? How do you ask your son, your niece, or even a professional for assistance without opening the door to risk or misunderstanding? That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. It means making smart choices, setting clear boundaries, and using tools that protect both your trust and your hard-earned savings. Now, there are auto-pay systems, online banking apps, scam emails that look incredibly real, and even new tax rules that change more often than we'd like. That doesn't mean we're losing it. It just means things like mental fatigue and decision overload happen more often. In fact, studies show that after 60, the brain's processing speed slows a bit, especially with complex decisions like choosing between 5 different insurance plans or catching an unfamiliar fee in a credit card statement. That's a lot for anyone to keep up with, let alone when you've got Medicare decisions, prescriptions, and just everyday life to juggle. Still the Captain just adding a co-pilot to help you navigate the skies a little more smoothly. These aren't complicated strategies or legal lectures, just honest, practical steps you can take right now to stay safe and in charge. That means letting someone help you, but not take over. Maybe your daughter helps you log into your account to pay the electric bill, but you still decide when and how much. It legally belongs to both of you, and that opens the door to some tricky situations, ones many people don't see coming. So he added Greg to his main account. Everything was fine until Greg got divorced, if he's in a car accident and sued. Same thing, and if there's ever a disagreement in the family, let's say someone takes out more than they should, you may not have legal grounds to do anything about it. Because the bank sees both names as equal owners suddenly, Tom's bank account was part of the legal discussion in the divorce. Because Greg's name was on it, that was money Tom worked his whole life for, now being pulled into a situation that had nothing to do with him. Why don't you just add your son or daughter to your bank account? Keep your main funds in a different account with only your name on it. It's to stay in control while allowing someone you trust to help in the right way. It sounds simple enough. That way, they can pay bills. Keep an eye on things and step in if anything goes wrong, and sure, it can work. But here's what most folks don't realize. A joint account isn't just access. It's legal ownership. Some banks allow a trusted person to see your transactions without the ability to move money. Others allow limited access through online tools where they can help pay bills without touching the full account. You might also explore using a power of attorney, which we'll talk about next. Or maybe your nephew helps you organize your mail and shred the junk, but you're still the one writing the checks. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 real, safe ways to get help with your finances without losing your voice, your independence, or your peace of mind. When she noticed she was forgetting to pay a few bills on time, she didn't panic. Instead, she asked her daughter to help set up reminders and walk her through automatic payments, but Helen insisted on reviewing every transaction. She didn't just hand over the wheel, she asked someone to ride shotgun. Because getting help with money doesn't mean handing over your life. And if you find this helpful, I hope you'll take a moment to like this video. Subscribe to Vibrant Elders. It's not just numbers, it's our history, our habits, and in many ways, it's how we measure our independence. So when the time comes to ask for help with it, even a little, it can feel uncomfortable, maybe even a little embarrassing. But here's the truth I wish more of us heard. Asking for help with money doesn't mean you've failed. It means you're being smart, and maybe even share your own experience in the comments. There's power in sharing what we've learned. Now, let's start at the beginning, because the truth is, needing a little help isn't a weakness at all, in fact. It might be one of the smartest financial moves you ever make. There's something deeply personal about money. Think about it. Managing finances today isn't what it was 20 years ago. And let's not forget something important. Our minds change with age. So yes, getting a little help is wise, but the key word here is boundaries. The goal is what I like to call supported independence. Take Helen, for example. She's a retired nurse in her early 70s. That's the kind of balance we're aiming for. And with that in mind, let us talk about one of the most common ways people get help with money and how to do it safely. Number 1, use joint accounts sparingly and safely. One of the first things people suggest when someone needs help with money is, that means if your name and your daughter's name are both on that checking account, the money in there doesn't just belong to you. Let me tell you about Tom. He's 75 and wanted to make it easier for his son, Greg, to help with bills. And that's not all. If Greg were to fall into debt, creditors could legally go after that shared account. So what's the alternative? Instead of a full joint account, consider what's called view-only access. If you do set up a joint account, make sure it has a separate one with just a small balance enough to cover the bills they'll be helping with. Remember, help should make things safer, not more complicated. The goal isn't to give up control. It's to stay in control while allowing someone you trust to help in the right way. Number 2, set up a trusted power of attorney, but only with safeguards. Now let's talk about something that sounds a little more official, but can actually give you more control in the long run: setting up a power of attorney. I know the term sounds like something from a courtroom drama, but don't worry. It's really just a tool that allows someone you trust to act on your behalf with financial matters only when and how you decide. A power of attorney, or POA, is especially helpful if there ever comes a time when you're too sick, injured, or mentally foggy to make financial decisions on your own. It gives someone you choose the legal ability to pay your bills, talk to your bank, and keep your finances running smoothly. Sounds helpful, right? But here's where you need to be extra careful. If you sign a general POA that starts immediately, the person you name could technically start managing your money the next day, whether you're healthy or not. And while most people mean well, sadly, not everyone handles that kind of responsibility with care. That's why more and more seniors are choosing something called a springing power of attorney. That means it only springs into action if a doctor or two confirms that you're no longer able to manage your own finances. Until then, you stay fully in charge and the paperwork just sits quietly in the drawer, ready if you ever need it. Elaine, a retired librarian I know, went this route. Her lawyer helped her set up a springing POA that required written statements from 2 doctors before her son could step in. And even then, the POA limited him to paying bills and handling her taxes, nothing else. She had the final say on investments and big decisions unless she was truly incapacitated. If you go this route, work with a lawyer to tailor the document to your exact needs. You can limit what your POA can do, set expiration dates, or even require a second person to approve major transactions. Think of it like writing your own rules before anyone else writes them for you. Having a power of attorney doesn't mean giving up power. It means having a plan. It means protecting yourself from the unexpected without giving up what you've worked so hard to build. Number 3, monitor with technology without handing over access. The word technology might send a shiver down some spines, especially if you're not someone who grew up with smartphones or banking apps. But stay with me here, because the right tools can actually protect you without requiring you to hand over control to someone else. These days, most banks offer something called view-only access. That means your loved ones, say, your daughter, can log in and see your transactions, but she can't move your money. She can't make withdrawals or transfers. All she can do is monitor what's happening. And that kind of access is incredibly helpful if she's helping you stay on top of things without needing to do things in your name. You can also set up transaction alerts. This means every time your card is used or a payment goes out, you or someone you trust gets a text or email right away. If something looks off, you can catch it within minutes. Take Ben, for example. He's 79 and still sharp, but he admits he's not great at spotting scams, so he worked with his bank to set up text alerts for every purchase over $100. One day, his daughter got an alert for a charge at an electronics store in another state. She called him right away. Turns out, someone had gotten hold of his debit card info. They locked the account before the money disappeared. There are even apps designed specifically for older adults and families, like Eversafe or LifeLock. These tools monitor your accounts for unusual activity, things like duplicate charges, sudden large withdrawals, or even changes to your credit. And they notify a trusted person without giving them full access. And here's the best part, you're still the one in charge. You're just adding an extra layer of protection. It's kind of like putting a security camera on your front porch. You're not handing anyone your house key. You're just making sure someone can help keep an eye on things with you. So don't be afraid of the tech. You don't have to become a computer whiz. You just have to take one small step and maybe ask someone you trust to help set it up. It's your money, your account, your rules. Technology just makes it easier to guard what's yours. Number 4, put clear limits in writing no matter who helps. Here's something that might sound simple, but it can save you from a world of confusion later. Put it in writing. I'm not talking about hiring a lawyer or drawing up a big legal contract, just clear, written expectations between you and the person who's helping you with your money. Why? Because memory is funny. What you think you said and what someone else remembers hearing can be two totally different things. And when money's involved, even small misunderstandings can grow into big messes. Let me tell you about Clara. She's 82 and asked her niece Lisa to help her pay a few monthly bills. Clara trusted Lisa completely. They've always been close. But a few months in, Clara noticed some charges she didn't recognize. Turns out Lisa had started using Clara's debit card to pick up groceries for her. And sometimes for herself too. Was it malicious? No, but it wasn't what Clara had in mind. So Clara sat down and wrote a simple note. Lisa may use my bank's bill pay system to pay rent, electricity, and water. She may not use my debit card or withdraw cash. She printed it, signed it, and gave a copy to Lisa and her other niece just so everyone was on the same page. You see, writing things down gives you clarity. It helps you stay in charge. And it also helps your loved ones feel clear about their role. Most people want to do the right thing. They just need clear instructions. If you're uncomfortable writing it yourself, ask a social worker, a financial advisor, or even someone at your local senior center for help. Some organizations even have basic templates you can fill in. And if you have more than one person helping, that's even more reason to write it down. Who's in charge of paying bills? Who handles tax paperwork? Who's your backup if someone is sick? Writing it out can prevent arguments, confusion, or worse, hurt feelings that last a long time. Bottom line, a written plan isn't about being suspicious, it's about being smart. It shows you respect your money, your helper, and yourself. Because when the expectations are clear, the help actually helps. Number 5, use a third-party advisor or daily money manager sometimes. Asking family for help with money feels complicated. Maybe you don't want to burden your children. Maybe you've had disagreements in the past, or maybe you just like keeping things private. That's where a third-party professional like a daily money manager can make all the difference. Now, if you've never heard of a daily money manager, you're not alone. These are trained professionals who help older adults handle the day-to-day parts of their finances, like paying bills, organizing paperwork, tracking expenses, even setting budgets. And no, this isn't someone who takes over your investments or retirement accounts. It's someone who helps you manage the routine stuff that can pile up and feel overwhelming. Let me introduce you to Frank. He's 81, lives alone, and has 2 grown kids on opposite sides of the country for years. He handled everything himself, but after missing a property tax payment and nearly getting hit with a late fee, he realized he needed a bit of support instead of calling his kids. He found a local daily money manager through a senior services nonprofit. Now, once a month, Frank sits down with his money manager. They go over his bills, balance his checkbook, and sort through the junk mail. Everything stays in Frank's name. He signs all the checks and no decisions happen without his say-so. But he gets the help he needs without the family drama. You can find daily money managers through groups like the American Association of Daily Money Managers, or ask your local senior center or area agency on aging. Some professionals charge a fee, but many communities offer sliding scale or even free services through nonprofits. This isn't about handing off your power. It's about having someone in your corner who knows the ropes and works for you. They're not family. They're not emotionally entangled. They're just there to help you keep things in order and give you the peace of mind that nothing's slipping through the cracks. And if a full-time manager feels like too much, consider starting small, maybe just hire someone to help once a quarter or during tax season, just knowing you've got someone reliable, neutral, and on your side can be one of the smartest money decisions you make. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this conversation, it's this: you don't have to choose between independence and support. You can have both. Asking for help with your finances doesn't mean you're giving up control. It means you're being wise about the season you're in. It means you care enough about your future and your peace of mind to put guardrails in place before something goes wrong. We've talked about a lot today. Why asking for help is nothing to be ashamed of. How to safely involve family, how to use joint accounts with caution, how to set up a power of attorney with protections, how technology can watch your back, how writing down expectations can prevent confusion, and how hiring a neutral, trained professional might just be the missing piece you need. But you don't have to do it all at once. Maybe you start by setting up transaction alerts on your bank account. Or maybe you sit down with your daughter and say, I want your help, but I also want to make sure everything's clear for both of us. These little steps add up. They build a financial setup that supports you, not controls you. And here's the truth: your money, your history, your choices, those things matter. You've worked hard, you've saved, and you deserve to feel safe and respected with every dollar you've earned. The goal here isn't to make things more complicated, it's to make your life simpler, steadier, and more secure. So take a breath, trust yourself. Then take that first step toward a safer financial life on your terms. If this video helped you feel a bit more confident, I'd love for you to click that like button. It tells YouTube this kind of content matters. Subscribe to Vibrant Elders for more real-world advice that's made for people like us. And if you've ever had to ask for help with money, good or bad, I'd be honored to hear your story in the comments. Until next time, keep your head high, your heart steady, and your hands on the wheel. Because yes, you can get help and still be in charge. That's not weakness, that's wisdom.